Okay folks, what we are selling today are two building lots in historic Apalachicola. Um, I want to start, before we get there, sort of give you a frame of reference. We are at the intersection of 17th Street, which delineates the beginning and ending of the official historic district in Apalachicola. More on that later. And this busy-ish road in front of us is Avenue E, which also is Highway 98, which is the old traditional east-west corridor that runs along the Gulf in the panhandle of Florida. It's by far the only busy street, really, in Apalachicola, and we're starting here, heading toward these lots to give you some perspective of how to get there. I'm on a golf cart, my wife is driving, so if I'm a little shaky or you see some interference, that's what it is. Okay, we're now on 17th and we're going to cross Avenue E, which again is Highway 98. And we're getting, okay, here we are. We've just crossed. Bear with me on looking at the front of the golf cart. Maybe to the side would be more helpful. Okay, we are going north on 17th Street, which again is the end of the historic district. We are crossing over Avenue F momentarily, right here. Okay. And the next street, of course, will be Avenue G. And we're going to stop there and give you an idea. When we started, you were about 4 blocks from the bay behind us. So we weren't far from the bay. It was directly to our back. Okay, we're going to stop right out here and let you look down Avenue G. And let's stop here and look. I'm trying to get the sign, but in any event, okay, there we go. This is Avenue G, and it's a straight shot down to the river going to the east here. And it's an easy 5-minute bicycle ride, 16 or so blocks down there. You could almost see it if you look hard enough. And there's several marinas, boat launches, things of that nature. It's a real easy golf cart ride or a bicycle ride or a very nice walk to downtown and to the river. Like I say, just 16 or so blocks to the east. And by the way, golf carts are a preferred method of transportation down here. It's a laid-back little town, that's for sure. Okay, the next stop sign up ahead is Avenue H, and that's where we're going to turn to the left to get to these two lots. You will note that 17th Street, which we're on now, delineates, as I said, the beginning and ending of the historic district in Apalachicola. And that's important for a couple of reasons. These two lots are only some 300 or so feet out of the historic district. We're turning left now. And the good part of that is that you don't have the restrictions that you have within the historic district about getting your colors approved by a committee when you paint your house and that sort of thing. But you have all the amenities, all the utilities, and all the other advantages of the city. So you kind of have the best of both worlds. Okay, we're turning left on 18th Avenue now, and that's where these lots are located. Again, excuse me, looking through the golf cart. And we're coming right up on the two lots. And we're going to pull right up out front and get out and sort of walk around them a little bit. They're on our left. Okay, and let's just get out and take a little walk right here. Let's look. Here they are. Both of these lots are 60 feet by 100 feet. And again, we're looking at the front, looking at them from the street, which by the way is paved. And that's important in Apalachicola. Not all the streets are. These are beautiful lots. First, 2 or 3 things about them. First of all, the lots are contiguous. They're side by side. So actually, and they're for sale either together or individually. And if you actually bought both of them, then your lot dimensions would be 120 feet across the front and 100 feet deep. In Apalachicola, it takes a 60 by 100 lot to be qualified as a buildable lot. So these are actually 2 buildable lots. More about that momentarily. Another really good feature about these lots is that they are what I would describe and what is known in the vernacular down here as high and dry. Now, why is that important? Apalachicola is a low-lying community, and when it rains hard down here, there's no problem with rising water, at least not in this area of town, in terms of flooding from the bay or the river. But rain is a different situation, and the city typically does not handle rainwater runoff very well. These lots do not hold water no matter how hard the rain is. Actually, the one that is westernmost has just a little bit of woods down here on it, and goes down, well, you can kind of sort of see a flag down in here. If you can look back in there, I don't know if you can see that orange ribbon or not. Next door is a very nice brick house with a swimming pool, but you really can't see it for the woods. So the westernmost lot has about 1/3 of it in woods. The rest of both of them are completely cleared and ready to go. Now that's important as well, because there isn't any clearing work that needs to be done on either of them really, and there isn't any fill work that needs to be done, which incidentally is difficult to get a permit for down here. You just sort of have to suffer along with water when it rains. That's sort of how it is. This is a nice neighborhood. It would be, I would describe it as a combination of both full-time residents and second home residents. And it's safe. It's not in the least bit edgy in any way. This is the eastern boundary over here with this fence. Someone has put up a board fence. The driveway has got these 2 beautiful oleanders framing it, as you can see here, if I'm able to get those. And let's walk on to the lots here and see if we can walk around these. Can you flip this for me? And see what we can see here. Again, this is the eastern boundary right here, panning around across the back. Okay. And over to the western boundary, and we're going to kind of walk out in the middle of the lots now. I think I might have mentioned this, but if I didn't, and this is important, all city utilities go right to the lot. So there isn't any sort of an onerous connect. Well, I don't know, there may be a tap fee now, but one house across the street. And again, now we're about in the middle of them, looking back toward the front. Again, looking toward the west, toward the woods over there. And of course, the house that I mentioned is over right through the woods. Can't really see it. Total privacy on these lots. Now we are going to approximately the southwest corner. You can kind of see the pool enclosure through there. This is the back. Let me mention too, you can see it here. Again, this is important. There is a 10-foot, pardon my jiggling the camera there. There is a 10-foot alley that is established by the city and platted and will always be there at the rear of these 2 lots. Now, why is that important? If you want to come in from the rear, you want to ride your bicycle, your golf cart, I suppose you could squeeze a car through here. You can come in from the back street and enter your lots from the back. Not every lot has that. Some have it platted, but it doesn't exist on the ground. That's just how the things sometimes work in the city. Okay, we're standing here, so these lots do have access from the back with that 10-foot alley. We're standing at the rear of the lots now, which would put us on the extreme south border, and we're panning across the front over to the west. Looking across again, there's a house across the street, and over to the fence that borders them on the east. And here we are looking back again to the street we came in on. As you can see the lots, and it, by the way, it just has rained all day yesterday. And you'll notice there's no squishing. There are those two oleanders I talked about. They're just beautiful. Take note, if you're a developer, these lots, again, like I say, they're about 300 feet out of the historic district, which means you have total creative control over what you, or how you paint and the architectural details of what you build. But you still have to, of course, comply with code and zoning. But maybe more important is that these lots are zoned R2, again, by about 300 feet, which is multifamily. There is not any multifamily development anywhere nearby. So it's not like you're living next to a trailer park or an apartment complex. However, developers take note of this. It is R2, and I can't remember the number of units that you could build here if you wanted to, but if you wanted to build a multifamily unit of some kind for income production, it's buildable right here, whereas 300 feet further to the east it would not be. So I think that's a big selling feature. And again, as I said, we would sell these lots individually or separately. I don't know of two other lots this pretty, this high and dry. I'm not even sure that I know of two other lots, period, in the city that are side by side. I'm sure there must be, for sale. And the advantage of it is that you can only have 40% impervious coverage on a lot. So therefore, if you have a 60 by 100 lot, the most coverage you can have with foundation or whatever is 2,400 square feet. You could build a much larger house on these two lots side by side, and of course that's perfectly permissible to do so. So it's an advantage to anyone wanting to build a bigger house. It does not have to be up on any sort of piers or anything, again, because of the relative elevation of the lot. So there you have it. Anything I've forgotten? Oh, no. Oh, I'll put that in. Yeah. Okay. And if there's anything else that you need, you can see the ad that brought you here, and I'll put contact information on it. And I hope you've enjoyed the little tour. These are pretty lots. If you're interested in coming to Apalachicola, you should take a look. Thanks a lot.